Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Luz Cabrales. I am the co-founder of the Independent Film Creative Hub, as well as Scranton Films.
And hey everyone, thanks for joining us for another episode of Scranton Talks. My name is Desiree. I'm also the co-founder of the Independent Film Creative Hub, as well as the founder of NYFW Film Society, and as well as the organizer of the Mystery Box Film Challenge. And we're so glad to have you here with us. And we are very excited to bring you Scranton Talks through all our social media platforms and through our Independent Creative Hub network. So make sure you sign up on ourcreativehub.com to stay up to date on local projects, connect with local filmmakers, and collaborate on projects together. This community is for you, and only you can help us grow. So sign up today. It's free and super easy.
Yes, we are super excited because we had quite a few talks in the month of May, and it was
a lot.
It was pretty hectic. I'm sorry, the month of April. That was April. In a little bit of May, we had the May 4th special with Daniel Roebuck, which we had a couple of lucky fans to talk with him as well about Star Wars and his involvement in the new video game, right?
Yeah, we did. That was a great episode.
Yeah, that was really exciting for Desiree, mostly because she's like a true fan.
As you can tell, back here, it's Star Wars Day every day back here.
Exactly. Yeah, I can take it or leave it, but I do appreciate Star Wars. But it was pretty cool just being able to talk to Daniel and for him to be available and speak with all of us filmmakers and inspire. He's from the Bethlehem area, so that was pretty good too as well, seeing that a local celebrity was able to come and share his story with us. I got pretty inspired. How about you, Desiree?
Yeah, he's such a wonderful, down-to-earth gentleman, and it is so inspiring. And everything he said, if you go on our YouTube channel on the the podcast audio will be dropping soon. I'm gonna have it drop with the release date of the first Star Wars on May 25th. So
look at that.
I'm planning that, but it's not on our podcast yet. But I will get it on there. But it's on the YouTube channel.
A true fan. I had to break it down into 3 parts because it was so long. I think we were on live for like an hour and a half. Yeah. But you all had fun. I had fun. So it was really nice, and we're very excited that you're all here again in supporting this mission of us bringing film back to the Scranton area and getting a lot of top people in filmmakers and creatives willing to share their story and just how they got to where they are right now, and even if they're just starting or they're veterans in it. So I'll let Desiree introduce our next filmmakers, producers that we have for you today.
Yeah, it's my pleasure to introduce our guests for today. They are 4 talented producers of The LIBBY Show. We have Beth Brier, Messalina Morley, Iliana Guibert, Suzanne Ortiz Curry.
Yes, thank you so much. So again, I'm doing this as well at the same time, so just bear with me as far as we're having a little bit of technical difficulties, but we'll make sure that it goes pretty smooth. Again, so I'm gonna introduce you the ladies. We're gonna talk about just their independent journey in just the LIBBY Show as well. They are producers, they are actresses, they're models. We have quite a few variety to talk about and inspire somebody. But the LIBBY Show as well is an online talk show that really is about inspiring and celebrating women of a certain age. So we're very excited to be bringing that to you and for them to talk about just the why are they doing this show and what the mission is. So I'm about to bring them in right now. So give me 1 second. We're gonna have Suzanne. Hi, Suzanne.
Hi.
We have Beth and we have Messalina. Iliana is having a little bit of difficulties right now, but she'll come back on the stream in a few minutes. We'll get her in and we'll get her to share her story. Ladies, thank you so much for being here. Just make sure you unmute yourself when you're ready to talk. But again, thank you so much. We couldn't do this without you. So
thanks so much.
I really appreciate it. Hi, Messalina. I have you.
Hi, it's great to be here.
Thank you, Suzanne. Thank you so much. I think try clicking on that mute button again, because I think you're muted. Just click on it again. Perfect. There you go. You'll be able to speak.
You can hear me now?
Yeah,
Yes.
we can hear you.
Okay. Thank you so much. I don't know what it is about. What is it? Today is Thursday. There's just so many like things glitches on Facebook right now. So I hope it doesn't interfere our connection. But we'll wait for Iliana when she comes in. That's the beauty of being connected. But it's also it can get very technical. So thank you so much for your patience. Oh, here we have Iliana. Hi, how are you? We'll let her just connect and make sure that she's all set to go. But Suzanne, let's dive into talking to you just about what you've been doing. Desiree will do a quick introduction on what you've been doing, and same with Messalina and Iliana and Beth, and then we'll get into just putting you on the spot and asking you some questions. Okay?
Yeah, just to give our audience some background on these lovely ladies, Suzanne has owned a PR firm since 1988. 10 years ago, through an entertainment client, she started her second career as an independent film series and podcast producer specializing in marketing them. Her more than 20 projects have won awards at top film festivals and have been nominated for Daytime Emmy Awards, Indie Series Awards, and others. Other projects have included actors who have won Oscars and Tony Awards. The projects have been seen on most streamers, including HBO, Lifetime, Showtime, and in theaters. Suzanne is also a founding member of Rebel Media, which is premiering Mr. Malcolm's List in July, and her workbook on marketing independent films will be out this year. Messalina is an actress and screenwriter. Most recently, she played Revlon in the American premiere of The Revlon Girl by Neil Anthony Docking. Previously, she worked on TV shows such as The Other F Word, Amazon Style Code Live, as well as voiceover work for Google. Messalina is a fashion model with state management and has been working with magazines and brands such as Allure, Stylecaster, Banana Republic, Target, and walked on New York's Fashion Week for Skims and 11 Honore, among others. Iliana is a graduate of NYU's Tisch School of the Arts and trained at the Lee Strasberg Theatre Institute. Took a career detour, spending her early years in the corporate sector getting business skills. She now applies to her work as an actress and expanding into writing, producing, and directing. And finally, last but not least, Beth is a lawyer, crossword enthusiast, and yet undiscovered screenwriter, as well as an avid fan of rom-com movies and 70s and 80s TV. Beth and her husband, Bruce, are parents of 2 grown children and a naughty but adorable rescue cat, all of whom say she is very bossy. In her next life, Beth hopes to be tall. But welcome, ladies, to Scranton Talks. We're so glad to have you.
Yes, thank you so much. I wish I could be tall as well. Maybe in my next life.
Can I just
That
say,
would
if
be
someone
exciting.
is super tall, you don't want to be tall.
Oh, right, you are very tall.
It's so annoying. You can't wear heels. You're always like, trust me, I would much rather be a bit shorter.
Okay, all right. I'll think about it.
It's all about perspective.
Yeah, when you can't reach, those objects, right?
Yeah, but like you can get a stool for that. But like when you're stuck in a plane and you don't have extra leg room, you can't like chop your feet off. So
you are right. I was just coming back from Texas, and they're not meant for tall people. That's for sure.
For anybody.
Exactly. Very cool. Well, thank you so much, Iliana. We can see you. I think we can hear you. We were just you saw the introductions. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start with Suzanne. And then we're going to go down the line just to talk a little bit about yourselves. I know Suzanne personally for quite a few years. She's definitely a mentor as far as getting me networking with other filmmakers, networking with other people. I met her at on LinkedIn, actually. I sent her a message because she was doing stuff for women and just to empower women in filmmaking. And then one thing led to another. I was at the Ridgewood Film Festival. Then we met in person. And now I get to help her out with this show as well by editing her show. But let's talk about your early career and just what got you first into the filmmaking industry, television. I know you own a PR firm and you do a lot of work as a producer. You worked on quite a few independent films that have made it to win awards, as well as Netflix, Hulu. So I do a lot of talking, but I'm gonna let you just talk a little bit about that, how you got started, what got you into this whole industry.
Sure. Well, thank you, Les. Thank you for having all of us on.
Mhm.
And thank you for your work in being our editor for the Libby Show, Lunch with the Ladies. We really appreciate that. You give it the look that we want. And I appreciate your words about calling me a mentor, because I do strive for that. And I also do like to network and connect people, because I think that is the way to accomplish anything. In fact, my whole career in producing is from networking and connections. And I always say, if a door opens, go peek inside. You could always close it and go away, but always look inside. I mean, I've been doing public relations since I was in college, a really long time. And then I had an entertainment client. A couple of them approached me for some, it was a winner of a reality show, approached me to do some PR. And then after someone heard I did that, then another reality person came along. And then just one thing kind of snowballed. I was working very closely with this Emmy winning actress. She started producing something. And I said, oh, that looks pretty cool. How do I do that? What do I do? And that's how I got from public relations to producing. But I also find, and I know you have a lot of filmmakers listening in, I also find that the two of them are so correlated, because when you make a film, especially now with the way the industry is and the way the streamers have killed the old distribution model and revenue model for making money with independent films, you really need to know your demographics, or at least know where you expect that film to land. I've been fortunate enough that I've worked on a lot of movies. My first one the first big one I worked on got into Sundance, and then we were bought by Sony Pictures Classics. I've had other movies, Egg, An Acceptable Loss with Jamie Lee Curtis in it. You can find that in places. Another one, A Case of Blue. I have one called Lost Girls that we just got on Lifetime. And there's a bunch of them, and each one has a different journey, and you just don't know where they will land. But I will tell you, if you are focused in on who your audience is, and you focus in on the platform that reaches that audience, that's your best bet of getting visibility and success for your project.
Oh no, that's great that you mentioned that, because I think a lot of filmmakers, don't realize that filmmaking is a business, right? And you also have to sell yourself in a way that you have to showcase what you can do, sometimes more than the project. So what do you think? You will say, like, that was like perfect, just the way you put it there. What do you think you're the most challenging part as a producer in PR, like, so making that switch? And you still are in PR, so just making that switch,
Yeah.
like you say, they connect. But maybe what do you think that was for you?
Well, I've done PR for a long time, and I've done a lot of boring PR. I mean, I had a client that made foam, and I had to make that interesting. So I think having now a content that I enjoy working with, so it's still promoting a product. It's just that product now is entertainment. So that makes it a whole lot more interesting, especially when I gravitate towards entertainment. That is my go-to. During the pandemic, entertainment was my go-to to make me feel better. So it goes hand in hand. And also with above the line producing, where you're also making decisions on finding sales agents and casting and things like that. That's all public relations also, because you're trying to make a product look really good. And so you're looking at each actor as to, unfortunately, what their socials are, how popular they are, can they help your film in the end? So these are all things that we would do when selling a product that now gets applied to making a movie or a series or a podcast.
So as a PR, you look into, like, let's say you're helping someone, right, to just get better at what they're doing, maybe have a better image. What do you think about all this social media, and like just how to present yourself there, and how you would tell somebody, like, that everything really matters that is out there, right?
It does. It does. And social media, I don't get on Facebook as often as I should because I do it for my business. So it's a job to me. But unfortunately, social media isn't going away. The best advice I can give, and I used to give this to any client, is just pick two that you can really master, because sometimes I think if you don't have a lot of followers and don't have a lot of engagement on one, even though if you have 5, it's better to be really successful on a few of them. And I would even say 1 or 2, because to engage properly and post properly, let's say you're doing Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and then if you want to go on TikTok or Snapchat or whatever you're using, and there's more coming down the pike, focus in on which one hits your demographics. If you're looking for older people, you might want to go to Facebook. If you're looking for younger, broader people, Instagram. But just pick, I would say even pick one and just be fantastic at that.
Very cool. Well, thank you so much for that, Suzanne. I'll let Desiree, I know she had the next question for Messalina.
Yep. So this one's going to Messalina. You are an actress and a model. Tell us about how you got started and what do you love most about the two crafts?
Okay. So as a model, I kind of actually started as a baby. I was seen in a stroller and by a photographer, and he asked my mom if he could take some like baby modeling photos, and he sent them into an agency, and I then got a baby modeling agent, and I was in the first UK Babies R Us catalog, and then I moved to America and it stopped. I had a similar experience happen when I was a kid as a model. I was walking in New York with my sister, and a photographer came up to my parents and said, "Can I photograph your daughters? I'm a photographer," and again they submitted the photos, this time to Wilhelmina, and so my sister and I ended up signing, and so we became child models. And that worked for a bit till I started losing my teeth and like became that awkward size, and then it was just like not going to happen for a while. And I didn't think much more of it until I was strongly pursuing acting. And when I was 10, I was in a play with my mother, and I got to do this scene where I was dealing with my parents getting a divorce. And so it was a really meaty scene to deal with for most 10-year-olds don't get a scene like that to play. And I was like, wow, this is amazing. If I could just do this for the rest of my life, I would be so happy. And so that was kind of my moment of like, I that's what I want to do. And when I was amazing. It was just like this amazing moment. And so when I was in the summer before my last year of high school, I did this acting and modeling competition, and my goal was just to go in for acting. But the people who brought me recommended that I did some of the modeling stuff just so I'd be seen more by different agents and managers and things. Okay. And they said, and so I did it, and then I actually ended up with a modeling agent. And so it wasn't even intentional so the modeling, I say I fell into it every time. And I love it. It's amazing, and I'm so grateful. And then I continue the acting as well. But yeah, so it's just been one of those things where one, I just knew it was right, and I've pursued it always, and the other has just kind of been a happy accident that I'm so grateful for.
That's very cool. That's quite a journey, actually. That's really nice. For the acting and the modeling, do you like one more than the other? Like, or it's just two completely different things that just kind of come together?
They are very different things, and there's great bits and not so great bits about both, because I mean you have to sit around sometimes on set. That can be annoying, but you that's a great time to learn your lines and make sure you know everything. And sometimes when you're putting on your 30th outfit for a photo shoot, you're like, really, another dress? Right. But you know what? Then you see the photos afterwards, you're like, oh my goodness, that was so worth it. And so I love both. They are so different, and I just have to be grateful for every chance I get to do either of them, because I know I'm very lucky and blessed, and it's just an amazing thing to do.
Thank you so much for sharing that. I did put your website on the screen so people can see, the work that you have done, and just the modeling in everything there. And I know you're working on your website a little more, but I thought it was beautiful. So
great.
Yeah, it looks really nice. So I know you also have a hard stop. So at any time, if you need to leave, you just let me know, and that's no problem at all. Okay, so we're not gonna keep you hostage here. But I know we started a little late, so I apologize. But now I'm gonna go to Iliana. Iliana, I have seen your IMDb, and I was like, oh my goodness, like this lady has been everywhere, right? So I have seen that you let me see. I know I have it here that you have been in Line Order Special Victims Unit, Bloods, Quantico, and quite a lot more independent films, and even a short film that you have, I believe, produced, correct? Tell me a little bit about that and just sort of how you first started in acting, like getting into the industry.
Yeah, well, it actually came very late for me. It's something that I always had a love for and an interest, but I was painfully shy as a child and as a young person, and so I didn't pursue it. Really, my parents didn't know anything about the industry. I'm first generation Cuban, so my family thought you're supposed to be a teacher and you're supposed to, or be a doctor or a nurse. They didn't know
Mhm.
about the entertainment industry. So I went ahead and I went to the corporate world, where I was most of my life until a years ago when we had some layoffs, and I thought, well, I could either just go work for one of my competitors, which I was ready to do, or I could do something else. I could invent myself at this, stage of my life, just try something new. And if it doesn't work, I can always go back to, running a sales team or being a salesperson. Um, and so I really have not looked back these years. I am loving what I'm doing. It's a big learning experience because there was a lot to learn, and I had a lot of catching up to do. But I am fascinated by the industry. I have a great love and passion for it. I love theater. I love film and television. But I'm also very interested in what goes on behind the scenes. So I started getting, started to dabble there. And I thought, well, nobody's going to hire me or let me work on their film because of experience. So let me just do my own. And so that's what prompted me to do the first one, which is called Twice Upon a Time. Actually, if you do Twice Upon a Time 9/11, because it's about a 9/11 widow, you'll find it. Or if you
Okay.
type my
I'm
name
gonna put it
there.
Twice Upon a Time, you said, correct? I'm
Yeah.
sorry about that. Okay, I'm gonna put it right here. And this is you can view this on YouTube.
Yes, on YouTube. But if you do Twice Upon a Time 9/11, you'll find it because there's more than one.
Okay.
Oh, okay, great. You were cutting off a little bit, so I apologize. Maybe if you get a little closer to the microphone, my apologies. But I know that just to make sure that we didn't miss anything, you're of Cuban descent, correct?
Yeah.
And you were. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, first generation. And so my parents really didn't know anything about the entertainment industry. So I really went off and went and worked in the corporate sector. But when I got laid off about, I guess now 8 years ago, I decided to pursue something different. I could have just taken a job with another competitor and I was ready to do that. But I thought, this is a blessing in disguise. Let me try something new. And so I said, well, I've always had a passion for the entertainment industry. So let me start in front of the camera. So I started, trying to get auditions and, looking at backstage and looking at other outlets and, joining the unions and getting jobs here and there. And one thing just led to another, and one job propels the next and propels the next. And you start networking, you start cultivating relationships and learning about the industry and being a sponge every single day. And now I have really another interest, which is what goes on behind the scenes, which is what then made me do Twice on it and produce it.
That's
Wow,
really
that's
great.
great.
And just the way that you say that, it didn't necessarily come to you early as far as acting. That really does inspire other people and other actresses that
Yeah.
may want to pursue this field. So thank you so much for that.
Sure.
Definitely. And then
That's great.
now we're gonna go to Beth. Beth has an interesting background, so I'm gonna have Desiree go with that.
Yeah, Beth, we found that you're a lawyer. So what
Yes.
got you interested in the film industry as well, since you're from the law background?
Well, like my other co-hosts, at the time I was very little, I really wanted to be an actress. I wanted to be a stage actress. And my parents said, oh, that's fine, until it really came time to go to school and study. And then they said, my dad was a doctor, my mom was a lawyer, and they said, well, choose one. And I didn't have the aptitude or the fortitude to be a doctor. So I went to law school because that was the choice I was given. I have two sisters. One is a doctor and the other one is a lawyer. And so you can see we were very limited. I still have my license, though I am not actively practicing at the moment. Several years ago, it's about 7 years ago, I was doing one of my favorite things, which is watching TV with my family. And we were changing the channels, and we said, there has to be something else. We had seen a lot of police dramas, which are excellent. We had seen a lot of medical dramas, which I have to watch like this because I don't have the fortitude, as I mentioned. And whenever they turned on any of the legal shows, my stomach would just go, oh. And so I said, you know what? I don't know why we're not finding something new. And at this time, our kids were in college, and they were calling me every night with these great stories. And you would think of the term university. It's a small world, right? That's what it is. It's a universe of people. And they would tell me these stories. And I thought, I don't understand why nobody is telling these stories on television in the form of a drama. And so I said to my husband, I'm going to sit down and write one. And I didn't know very much about it at all. Like we've heard other people say, I went out and I spoke to people who wrote. I didn't know the first thing. I didn't know if I should write it on a legal pad. And they said, no, you need a platform, a format. And I wrote a pilot, basically based in a university. And I met with several people. Really, nobody took a lot of serious interest until I met Suzanne. In the ladies' room at the intermission of a conference where she was speaking. And she called me a few weeks later and said, let's talk about this. And it's still a project of mine. It's an ongoing project. It's a passion of mine. And since then, there are other shows that I want to see. And I sketched them out, and some of them I'm writing now. But it was really a personal desire to see something more on television.
Very cool.
Yeah, it's great.
Well, that's actually a pretty good setup. I think you planned that, Beth. That's a pretty good setup to say, to watch something different on television.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where we're going to go into the LIBBY Show. Messa, I know we have 5 minutes for you, but I promise I'll be quick on this. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to show the promo for the LIBBY Show. And this is a project that you are all part of. You're all producer, host, making this happen for women out there and women of a certain age that may get overlooked in the industry, right? So let me just pull that up, and then we'll talk a little bit more about just the mission of the show and where we can watch and everything, okay? So give me 1 second. It's only 15 seconds, so it'll be very quick. Talk. Beautiful.
That's great. Yeah.
And that's nothing. Okay. I'll tell you that is nothing. I think there's about 12 plus shows already out on YouTube. And I'm going to put the websites, but let me just talk to Suzanne real quick. You are the creator of the show, how an executive producer and host, along with the ladies. How did you get these ladies to be part of this show, or who came up with the idea? Maybe it was all of you. Just tell me more about it. And just to give the title is Lunch with the Ladies, the LIBBY Show, covers topics of interest to anyone, but with a slant. Give me the slant of the show.
Okay. Well, first, thank you for running that. And first, I have to give a shout out for that music that was done by Shane Curry and Libby Cowens. Shane happens to be my son, so he does a lot of music. He's done some scores for me, so I appreciate that you played that. How the show came about and how the name came about. Well, many years ago, I've always been a fan of talk shows. And I remember many years ago, I had said to my husband, I want to do a talk show. And my husband and he's like, well, back then I was a mom, just, mom running around and stuff. Now my kids are grown. And he's like, well, call it something like ladies in the kitchen drinking wine and eating chocolate. And I'm like, oh, that's not a bad idea. We all like to do that. And really kind of, I got more involved. That was before I got really, really involved in the film industry. And then I got more involved and I saw more of behind the scenes because I'm not a film major, but I saw more and more of what it takes to make something. And then the pandemic came along. And I'm watching TV and I'm watching this, the TV for news. And I'm just watching a lot of these talk shows because I love talk shows. And they're not covering subjects that I frankly care about. I don't really care who's sleeping with whom. And no offense to the Kardashians, but I don't care what they're wearing today. And I just thought there was no one giving a message to what I was feeling during this pandemic at my age. Like, what am I going to do? What's going on with the world? So I just looked at my contact list and my friend list and I said, who would make a great panel for this? And I chose Iliana and Beth. And then I said, we need to balance it out because a lot of being someone in middle age, which I hate that term, is it's like things are happening and we don't understand them. So that's why I was like, we need someone young on this show to give us the scoop and explain TikTok and all these other things to us. So I always said the premise of the show was we'd always have a young person on to give us another perspective. And so far, I think it's been really good to hear her perspective on things, although I think Messalina is a very unique person. So she's very mature. So I don't know if I'm always getting the real young person perspective from Messalina because she's sitting around talking with a bunch of old ladies and enjoying it.
She is. And I know she only has a few minutes. So what I'm going to do is you set it up real good again. And I wanted to talk to Messalina real quick and then we can all talk that you are the youngest person in this show. What do you hope, just like Suzanne said, what do you hope for the audience to take on when you are having these conversations as well, learning about maybe things that you didn't know, and just getting all this empowerment as well? And what do you hope to give, I guess, women of a certain age, but maybe your age, right?
Well, I guess I hope to give a different perspective, as Suzanne asked me to, and I hope that it can be a positive and welcoming and like open perspective, because I think that age is something that can seem so binary, and it shouldn't be. Like, just because you're one number or another number does not mean that you can't do something or that you shouldn't wear something or you shouldn't go to a place, because I think your personality and who you are should determine what you do and what makes you happy. So I hope that is what comes through when I'm on the show, when I'm talking with ladies of different ages, because to me, that's something that I feel very passionately about. And so I hope that when I'm talking to people of my own age group, that if they haven't thought about things that way, or if they've been like, oh, someone's older, or like, oh, that's kind of like what my mom would do, that they maybe like check themselves and rethink and think, well, actually, no, like anyone could do that. And I should be more open and welcoming to that too. So that's my hope, that we can all just be ourselves at any age and enjoy our lives doing what makes us happy.
Thank you so much for that. You are 100% right. And look at this, it's 7:59, so you can leave anytime. I know you have a little baby, so congratulations again. I know it's under 1 year, right?
Wow. Yeah, he's 9 months.
9 months. So definitely, thank you so much for being here. You can leave anytime, and then I'll still talk with the ladies for maybe another 15 minutes, if that's okay, and then we'll learn more about the show. Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. It's been wonderful being on, and have a great evening, everyone.
No,
thank you. Thank you.
Bye.
Perfect, Suzanne. So I will now let Desiree ask all the other questions, because I talk a lot. I always do. And I kind of just leave her,
we balance out. That's all.
We balance out. But go ahead, Desiree. I know we had a couple questions here, and then we'll sort of bring it back to Suzanne and just talk more about the show.
Yeah, for Iliana, as a producer of the LIBBY Show, what attracted you the most to being part of this show?
Well, the first one, I have to be honest, was Suzanne, because she's such an IMO, such a champion for women, and I just knew I needed to do something for her. So I just jumped on board. If she said, "Oh, we're going to be jumping off cliffs," I would have been like, "All right, let's do it."
Yeah.
But then this Ida is so it's
Go
so
ahead,
unique,
go
and
ahead.
it's so unique. She's so right that there really isn't anything out there really geared for our demographic. So I thought this was really a brilliant idea, and I thought anything that I can do to help push that along and to guide it and to be a part of it, I was all in, and here I am.
Yeah, that's great.
That's great. Same thing with you, Beth. We'll ask that question, and then I'll ask another question after that. So just what got you interested? And I know I've seen some stuff that you have done before with Suzanne. Some so maybe talk you're fans of Hallmark. So maybe we can talk a little bit about that.
So I think Suzanne and I are really twins separated at birth. There's so many things that we experience the same way as children, and things we just really enjoy as adults, including Hallmark movies, including 1970s shows, rom-coms. I've had the pleasure of and the honor to submit some articles to Susie Behind the Scenes, which is Suzanne's platform for entertainment. And she's welcomed me to submit stories, and those were just great. And like Iliana said, if Suzanne called and said, "Yes, we're going to go, free base jumping," I'll go, "Okay." It was.
I would never say that.
I knew you would do that. And I thought it was also a great show, an untapped area that was not yet being addressed. And that there's truly an audience for it. And interestingly enough, when we started all this during COVID, and I think what people, especially everything everybody missed, but I think people of our age missed, is getting together with your friends, sitting down, having some coffee, talking about where are we, what are we doing now, and that's what we created. We created it when there was no opportunity to do that anymore. So in a way, it was the perfect time.
That's perfect. That was actually the next question I had, that you did it during the lockdown. So you said it perfectly. So it kind of brings me to Suzanne. Just so tell us what a LIBBY is, and sort of how the show is formatted for people who maybe haven't seen it, or maybe someone who wants to check it out after this.
Sure. Well, I came up with the name LIBBY. LIBBY is I wanted a name for women in their middle age, or women of a certain age, and I couldn't think of anyone, so I decided I'll just make one. So I toyed around, I brainstormed, and LIBBY is an acronym for Ladies Living in Their Best Years, and it just came out to be LIBBY. I kind of like that. I said, let me throw it against the wall, see if it sticks. Still hoping it sticks. I mean, we're on YouTube now. We're coming to iWoman TV and some other platforms. But, I really do believe that we need to be empowered at this age, especially during the pandemic. It was, very difficult to wake up and get your groove back. Mm-hmm. So I really hope that this show helps people get their groove back. And it's not just us talking. We're having lunch, but we're always so busy talking, we forget to eat. We have connections. I have a lot of people that I know. So we've had lots of daytime stars. We've had Trent Dawson on, Katie McLean, who you'll see her on Days of Our Lives coming up in June. We have a whole show, Alicia, this online soap series, Tainted Dreams. That I'm a producer on that. So we have like 4 of our cast members, Michael Lowry, Alicia Minshew, Terry Ivins, and Austin Peck. We have them coming on. We have some Hallmark actors coming on. So we're not just ladies sitting around talking about what we're doing. I really want to hear this perspective of other people. Today, I can tell you that Iliana and Beth and myself were all standing very straight with our posture. Today, we had 3 guests. We had a Tony Award-winning actress, Tonya Pinkins. We had a award-winning filmmaker, Sarah Megan Thomas. And we had the 91-year-old mother of the creator of The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. Her name is Maiden Sherman. And she came on, and we're all straight today, because one of the things I like to ask older ladies is, what's your secret to longevity? And Maven talked about ballet, and ballet is posture. So like all of us were on screen trying to be as straight as we could. So it's little things like that, because to me, talking to someone that's 91 and still vibrant, and she said another key to her longevity was just every day doing something else or finding what else she wanted to do. And most of the time it was something creative. That inspires me. And I think these days, everybody needs inspiration, but I think even more so, women over 50 need some kind of inspiration.
No, yeah, you are right. I mean, I wish my parents were able to have this as well. When they were in that age. My mom is in her 70s. And she would have just loved to see this on TV. Like it wasn't there when she was growing up. So it's really nice to be able to see that. So just a question for all of you then: what is the future of the show? What do you see right now? Like we said, we make things happen. We do it online. We do what we can to get the message across. But what do you hope? Let's say, a big producer came and said, I want to make your show. Like, what do you want to preserve still, even if it makes it big? Or what do you want to explore?
Do you want
I put you on the spot. Whoever wants to do that, maybe it's a personal thing that you want to achieve, or maybe it's more for the show itself.
I'll start. I'd like us to be sitting in the same room, which has not been possible yet. It's provided a lot of flexibility for us, but it would be great if we could all sit in the same room and have this conversation face to face instead of virtual face to face.
Right. Yeah. That is very important, that face-to-face, right? That networking.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and the ability to reach a bigger audience, to reach more of those women that we want to reach, be able to tell these stories and to educate. Because it's not just about having a bunch of women come on and banter and have a couple of guests on. It's also about educating and sharing experiences. Maybe one day we have somebody that's going to talk about women's health, which actually we did. Maybe another time we have somebody who's going to come on and talk about women investing and being a bit more financially mindful, because it's an important thing at every age. Maybe it's about what to do now that you're an empty nester, what to do if now you're divorced, what to do if now you became a widow. So these are all topics that are really critical and wonderful for women of a certain age. And nobody talks about them. Nobody really has tools for us. You have to go digging for that. And so if we had the means, we could really reach more people and be able to bring these stories and these tools to these women.
Yeah.
Yeah, and what I like about the show, I mean, I edit it, so I see and I see and I see and I watch and I watch and I watch, but there's always a message. I really do like that because at the end, I edit stuff, right? And I want to make sure that what I edit has a purpose, right? And I always have that when I'm editing this, just to make sure that your point is getting across. I know that at least one of the episodes made it to a film festival, and it was about Dr. Ko, I believe her name, if I'm not mistaken. Just and the message she was giving was very, very powerful. Maybe you can talk a little bit about that episode and just what it did for you.
Sure. Well, we've been in 3 film festivals so far. Since my background is in film, I know that this was perfect for when they're looking for web new media or something like that. So we were in the New York Online Shorts Festival, the Gold Standard Arts Festival in New York City, which is a brand new festival started by my dear friend Keitha Gentis, an extremely talented filmmaker over 50. She started this festival for creatives over 50, and we were in the Ridgewood Guild International Festival with our episode for Dr. Ko. But getting back, Liz, to what you were saying about purpose. So I'm very mission driven. And to me, this is a mission to provide a service and to empower women. So it's not just doing a show. And when you're talking about future plans, yes, I would like to keep the show running. I am always looking to get to reach a different audience, whether it's through different platforms or different social media platforms, different channels. But it's also to build a movement. And in the future, I'd like to do a little more of that, maybe have some events where the women get together, maybe raise some money. We always do charity shout outs on the show. So maybe something where we could start giving money back, you know, kind of a little bit like Oprah. I always, you know, admired Oprah and Ellen for how much they give back. And I know those are grandiose dreams, but again, I want it not just to be a show, but more like a Libby movement, if that would be my dream.
I like that. I think you will make it happen. And again, you are doing it as an independent filmmaker, as an independent television producer. So what? I'm gonna go. I know we had at least one or two questions, right, online. So we're gonna talk about that, and then I always ask at the end, because I know you had a long day today. You know, recording some shows. I always ask one question to all of our actually I'm gonna let Desiree ask that question, but let me just go through this here. I have somebody, ladies, what podcast do you listen to on your days off? Maybe something that you like besides the Libby Show, which is not a podcast, guys. Okay, this is a talk show, so make sure you let them know something that can inspire that you're watching right now. I mean, listening to.
I'm going to give a plug. I am a producer on a podcast. It's called Around the Sun. We have some great actors in it. But cool. It's not, aside from that podcast, I listen to political podcasts.
Okay.
I'm not going to say which kind, but that's what I listen
to. That's all right. Perfect. How about you, Iliana?
Listen to that really is just, I think, wonderful. It's the moment with Brian Kopelman. And Brian Kopelman is a filmmaker, but he's also one of the creators and writers of the show Billions on Showtime. And now he has another show, Super Pumped, also on Showtime. And he just has amazing guests, from writers to authors, just amazing, amazing guests. It could be a basketball player, people that are doing amazing things and that have incredible history. And really wonderful, wonderful moderator.
Very cool.
Nice.
How about you, Beth?
Just recently, I've been listening almost every day to podcasts that are produced by NPR in This American Life. They're very interesting. They're usually narrated by and moderated by, I think it's Ira Glass. But they're very good things. I keep wondering, how come I didn't know about this? And I'm sure that's the whole point. And now I do.
Very cool.
Great.
Very cool. Let's see. We already said what your future plans are. Let's see.
And probably where they can watch the show.
Well, here's for everyone. Who was your favorite guest on the show so far?
Oh, that's a good one.
Without, or maybe like the favorite show.
I'm going to jump out and say that today, talking to Maven Sherman at 91 that's going to be one of my favorite shows.
Very cool. Very
cool. I was going to say the same thing. I couldn't believe it when she said she was 91. You must watch the show because you won't believe it either.
Yeah, she's truly inspiring, delight and inspiring beyond belief. Yeah.
Well, that very cool. That brings us to where can people watch the show? I know we have the YouTube and iWoman TV, but I want to make sure that we have anything or anywhere where they can watch, just so I can put it on here on the site.
Those are the two places. Also, the Facebook page of Behind the Scenes, where we post every episode, and on Susie Behind the Scenes, there's a drop-down menu. You can watch it on. You can find it on that too as well.
Okay, so if they go to your website here, they will find probably just the link to the YouTube in just where they can watch it, correct?
Yeah, they're not all up on that site, but they are all up on YouTube, and that would be the Libby Show Lunch with the Ladies. Really easy to find.
Very cool. Very
Nice.
cool. All right, Desiree, do you have any more questions before we wrap it up? Because it's been a long day for these girls.
No, I mean, I think you ladies said that you did the show during COVID and started the show during COVID, what were the advantages and disadvantages of making the show happen? Any challenges? I mean, it all sounds wonderful, but I'm sure there were challenges that you had to face when creating the show.
Ladies of a certain age having to do technology. How about that?
If I could high five you through the screen, I would. But I remember the first time I had to get on Zoom, and now I can Zoom, which Zoom isn't. We all know Zoom is something else. Zoom was a TV
show that you and I watched.
Yes, and now it's something else. So definitely the technology, and also the energy, because still seeing people on screen is not the same energy as seeing them in person. And I was really hoping that this summer, I do plan on doing, I was telling the co-host, I would like to do some outdoor shows this summer, maybe with a little audience, because before the next wave comes.
Right. Hopefully not. That's great. Did everybody answer the question? Yes, right?
We did. I want to add, we had never all met in person, actually, when the show started. And so the first two shows, we had to establish a rapport in our own separate spaces. And I think it took a little, probably longer than it would have had we all been around the same table. And I think the first time we were all together actually was last summer. Messalina was in a show and we all attended. And we said, oh, that's what you look like in real life.
Very cool.
Yeah, they didn't know. The only person that knew everybody was me. And we also have co-hosts that come on, guest co-hosts. And I also want to say we're starting a new segment for anyone listening. It's called the Libby Tip. If you have something that after you're a woman of a certain age and you've learned a great way to organize your kids' old paintings or how to clean something out, or a way to put your makeup on that makes you look better than you ever expected, or a trip you went to or a book you read, 1 minute, 2 minutes, do it on your phone, landscape, and send it to us. Info at wiprnproducing.com, and I will, if we like it, we'll put it up on the show.
Nice.
Let me hear that email address, and then 1 second, and
Sure.
then 1 second, and then I'll put it on the site. So what was the email again?
It's info at WIPR, and the word spelled out, producing.com.
Producing.com. Okay. That way they can send you, make sure that I spell that right. Oh, it's WR. WI, right? Yep. Okay.
Yep.
Perfect. All right. Yeah. So they can send you tips there. Just anything, like beauty tips.
Beauty tips, or if there's something, if you have a pet peeve, it's just something that lets me know that you are a Libby.
All right. That's very good. Very good. And perfect. Well, ladies, you have donated your time quite a bit. But we do have one last question for everyone, and it's very short or long, whatever you want to make it. Desiree, go right ahead. It's just something that we always ask everyone in the show.
Yeah, so if you could tell your younger self any inspiration, or any young filmmakers out there, like inspiration, like a little bit of advice of like, what would you tell your younger self?
Just do it.
I'll do it first. Just do it. Don't wait. Don't say it. I'll do it in 10 years. Just do it.
Take more chances.
Yeah.
Take more chances and just do it. That's perfect.
Yeah.
As easy as it could be. Anyone that is watching right now. So we will just wrap up. Thank you so much for being here. We really do appreciate you taking the time to be being here and inspiring filmmakers out there, creatives, anyone looking to get into the creative industry. And we do want to thank all of our viewers as well. We usually put our talks on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. That way they can watch it. But I have Desiree close the show. And ladies, thank you so much again for being here. And we really do appreciate your time.
Thanks for having us, Roz.
Yeah, thank you all so much for joining us for our
Desiree.
ScrantonTalks. Thanks, ladies, and our wonderful ladies here. Happy to connect and learn more about their projects. And make sure you go out and check out the Libby Show. We have great events coming up, so be sure to follow the Independent Film Creative Hub on Facebook and Instagram to stay up to date of all that we have going on. And subscribe to our YouTube channel because you can see any of our previous talks on there. And we also have a podcast where we put the audio of our previous talks on, so you can listen to it on the go on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. And the Independent Film Creative Hub is for you. It's geared to help filmmakers reach their potential in becoming successful creative artists. And be sure to visit our website, ourcreativehub.com, and join our directory. It's free to sign up.
Yes. Thank you so much again. And you all have a great night. I'll leave you with the credits. And the end cover will have all the information for the Libby Show. Thank you so much.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.